Welcome to Memorial Cooking Innovations. I'm Tim Scallon, registered dietitian.
And I'm Manuel Marini, executive chef.
Okay, so here at Memorial, we develop recipes that fit healthy guidelines, yet satisfy the palate. So we've got me, the dietitian, to doing the healthy guidelines, and we got you, the chef, doing the palate part.
That's correct.
And so what is healthy guidelines? What does that mean exactly? You know, because I hear people ask me that question. Well, for example, a healthy meal should be low in cholesterol and
low fat,
saturated fat,
low sodium.
Low sodium, yeah. And a healthy meal should be balanced in carbohydrate, protein, and fat. It should include fiber and also antioxidants.
True.
And so, when you hear us talk about a healthy meal, well, that's what we're talking about. In all of our recipes, you know, we're always negotiating on, well, can we use this instead of that? You want the flavor and I want the guideline. And we come to a balance, and that's what makes Memorial Cooking Innovations.
That is true. We take an old traditional and bring it that healthy version to it.
And in fact, that's kind of what we're doing on this show. So tell us what we're having
today. We're doing a Manicotti. Ooh. You know, a nice Italian dish is a big, large pasta stuffed with some ricotta cheese, ooh, some fresh herbs, and finish it off with a nice tomato sauce. Okay, nice and healthy. Right. And then we're going to do a traditional Caesar.
Yep, Caesar salad.
Caesar salad. Good. So, you know, we're going to start off with that. We're going to do the Caesar salad while we're blanching our Manicotti, which is fun. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to finish it off with a poached pear with raspberry. What do you think?
That sounds good. That sounds
awesome.
Good. All right. And you know, the Italians, it's very traditional for them to have fruit as a dessert. So this really is kind of an Italian themed meal.
It is. It is.
Okay.
So what I got here is a little bit of boiling water. Now here's a question that it's always asked. Mm-hmm. Do we add oil to our water or butter to our water?
Or
salt. Yeah. Well, you do want to add a pinch of salt, you know, to bring in the flavor of the pasta. So we are going to do that. We're going to add a little bit of, I got a little kosher salt, so we're going to add just a little pinch, okay, Tim?
Yeah.
And then I do like the oil part of it. It doesn't have to be the olive oil, the expensive stuff.
Yeah.
My thing is that when I throw my pasta, it coats with the oil so it doesn't stick.
Doesn't stick together as well.
A lot of people will just stick the pasta in there, but you got to make sure you stir it around and just keep stirring it so it doesn't stick, because there's nothing worse than a bunch of pasta stuck together.
Okay, now let me ask you this question, because you know, when I cook pasta at home, and this is one of the things I love about doing this show with you, because I'm always learning from the chef. Okay, sometimes what I do is I'll boil the pasta. I don't add the oil to the water, but then whenever I rinse it under hot water and then put it back in the pan, I put oil down
and then stir it around, and that's a good thing.
So same thing?
And that's a good thing. Me, on the other hand, I'm the opposite. I like to do a little bit, just a little bit. It doesn't take much. And like I said, it doesn't have to be the virgin olive oil, the expensive stuff. Yeah. It could be some butter, margarine, or prefer margarine or a little salad oil. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just so it doesn't, okay?
Make it not stick.
Here's the Manicotti, which we bought locally.
Yep.
All right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't really take that long to cook. And we want them al dente.
Al dente.
Al dente.
Firm to the bite.
Firm to the bite. Maybe a little less than firm to the bite, but you'll see why.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is when the water has to boil. Don't just because it's hot.
Should be a rolling boil.
It should be a rolling boil, exactly. So then this is what I mean by when you drop it, it coats with that oil, okay?
Oh, I see.
And you know water and oil don't mix, so you can see it starts breaking up all over the place. But that's a good thing. At least, you know, I'm pretty good with that.
Yeah.
All right, once we know it's ready, we're going to stick all these in there, okay, Tim?
Yeah.
And this is what makes it really fun. Okay, Tim? So, our ingredients for this one is, if you don't mind passing me the mayonnaise.
Yeah. All right, and while you're doing this, I want to tell our viewers about this particular product. Now, I'm not promoting this brand name. I'm just promoting this low-fat mayonnaise because this mayonnaise has in it a healthy ingredient. And the ingredient is called plant sterols. Plant sterols are a plant derivative that actually help us to not absorb cholesterol.
And that's the same thing as the yogurt we did that one show.
That's right, that's right. It lowers our cholesterol. And you can find plant sterols in a number of products. You can find it in orange juice these days, in milk, in mayonnaise, margarine. You have to look for it though. So that's one of the reasons why we're using this mayonnaise today.
Beautiful. We got the mayonnaise.
Yep.
I got the garlic.
I don't get to whip this time, do I?
No, actually you will.
Okay.
I'm gonna put a little bit of mustard. You could always add a little bit more if we're gonna taste it later. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of red wine vinegar.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna add a little bit of it. We're gonna add a little as we go. Okay.
You know, people do not realize just how easy salad dressings are to make, and how quick they go together.
And how much fun it is. Well,
Yeah.
you know, once you have all the ingredients, the fun thing about our cooking is that, you know, we come up with so many ideas that you can use the stuff. You don't just have it in your refrigerator lasting for 6 months, right?
In fact, you know, red wine vinegar is something you should have in your pantry. It doesn't have to be refrigerated.
Nope, it stays there. Okay,
yeah.
here you go, Tim.
Okay.
If you don't mind, go ahead and whisk it up a little bit.
Okay.
Another thing is the anchovy paste.
All right.
Now, you can buy this. You can buy the can.
Yeah.
Or you can buy the paste. The paste will last a little longer.
Yeah.
You can close it up. A can, usually you're going to open it and maybe put it in a Ziploc bag, but, you know.
Now, where did you get this anchovy paste?
I got this one at Brookshire's.
Okay, so Brookshire's, one of our sponsors, a celebration of food and community. Okay, now, you know, when I was doing the nutritional for the analysis for these recipes, you know how much sodium is in 1 teaspoon of anchovy paste?
Let me tell you, I think it would have to be a lot. Very much, huh?
It's about 900 milligrams.
That's a lot.
You know, and a low sodium diet for the whole day is 2,000 milligrams. So in that 1 teaspoon of anchovy paste is half of our sodium for the day.
So you want very little of it.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I
the
mean?
point.
You
Now,
want very little. It does have a lot of sodium. Plus we're gonna put the Romano cheese. So
Yeah.
you know, watch the sodium. Okay, keep stirring it really. You know,
Okay.
the trick to this is you really got to stir it really, really good and fast.
Okay.
And then we're gonna drop the oil little by little, and that's how simple it is. Okay.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, you gotta keep stirring it.
You want it to
See,
blend.
and it incorporates together, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's almost like making hollandaise, béarnaise, and all that good sauces.
Yeah.
So and you just keep going, little by little. Okay, Tim.
Now, you know, some people would say, well, if there's so much sodium in that anchovy paste, how can it fit our healthy guidelines? Well, the answer is this dressing that we're making, the recipe that you can either download from memorialhealth.org, or you'll see the recipes on the show, uses a half cup of this. This recipe is going to make a cup, so we're going to cut it in half. Then you take that amount of paste and divide it by the number of servings, which is 6. So when you divide it out, it fits.
It fits. And you saw that very little. Look at nice flavor. Isn't that
Good.
nice?
It's delicious.
So we're gonna squeeze a little lemon.
Yep.
Get a little citrus in, but that is like perfect.
Now, you know, the example here, the reason I'm talking about sodium and using a high sodium food in a healthy recipe, you can.
You can.
You just have to, balance it with the other foods.
And I really think we do such a good job at grabbing it traditional and giving it the healthier version,
Yeah.
keeping the same flavors.
Well, and you hear us talk about inclusion. You know, eating healthy is not about abstinence or denial, self-denial. It's really about inclusion. And here we're including a mayonnaise that has a healthy ingredient in it.
Beautiful. Tim, if you want to, I got some romaine here, and I love romaine. And what I like about romaine is I like to cut my lettuce big chunk. I hate when they cut it real small because you want to be able to fork it and just enjoy that lettuce. So, and romaine is really good. The darker the green vegetable, the more nutrition it has. Right?
Actually, romaine has a lot more nutrients.
Yeah, if you don't mind, go ahead and just pour
a little
some.
bit of this in
just
here?
a little bit of that. Keep some on the side. It is so good.
Okay. Now, and another way you can do this, if you want, is start with an empty bowl, put a little bit of the dressing in the bowl, and then just toss the lettuce in it. Yeah.
And this is another good way to do it. And the thing about when you're doing this, you want to do it right at service time.
Yes.
It doesn't take that long.
Okay.
That probably took us what, 5 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe less. So.
Yeah. And you can refrigerate, put it in a sealed container. Plastic Tupperware if you want. Put this in the fridge and use it over the next week. I mean, it'll last.
It'll last, and that's wonderful.
And not
Good
only
flavor.
that, you know, you could get a quick, easy Cesear dressing, a pre-made dressing, but it's not going to taste like this one. You know what you hear us say all the time? The flavor is in the freshness.
Fresh. And if you don't mind, grabbing that.
Yeah. You
cheese.
ready for the cheese?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me cut a little bit of it.
Yeah. This is a Romano cheese. It's a dry cheese. You know, cheese is one of those foods that is relatively high in fat. And you see us use Parmesan. Last time we used an Asiago. It's good, no?
So good, yeah.
And so this time we're using Romano, and all of these are dry cheeses. That means that they're lower in fat. Now they do have sodium, so you have to use small amount.
And that's why we actually, because of the anchovies, because of the cheese, we're not going to add any sodium, but yet the flavor is already there.
Yep, yep. So this is really just for looks. Using this antique, ooh, that's beautiful, isn't it? Antique cheese grater. This cheese grater is perfect. If you don't have one like this, it's perfect for dry cheeses.
That is. And then they have the newer models, of course,
this is an antique. Not almost, it is an antique.
It is an antique. So they do have them available at the stores, which we've seen in the past.
I just have to look at this. I mean, this just, is that not beautiful?
It is beautiful.
Now, in our recipe, you'll see us use some croutons, and we were very precise. We had to count how many croutons because we wanted to fit. There again, if you use a pre-made crouton, you got to watch your sodium. So not
our pasta is ready.
Okay.
All right, Tim.
Yep.
So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take it over to the sink, drain it off a little bit, and shock it a little bit with cold water because I want it to stop cooking. Okay.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, I'm gonna go over here, Tim. Okay, Tim, I got that cooling down a little bit, the manicotti. Okay. So now we're going to do the stuffing.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
So let me get my mixing bowl here.
All right.
All right, and this is one of these basic recipes, a little bit of ricotta.
Okay, ricotta,
right? You can find it, again, at Brookshire's. They got it there. Very nice ricotta here. Let me open this up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, with a little bit of fresh basil, a little onions. Fresh herbs, of course. Yeah. We're going to add a little bit of spinach to it.
Okay. This cheese, this is a spinach cheese manicotti, and this comes in at for 2 manicottis at 276 calories. It comes in well under our sodium guideline at 178 milligrams. So even though we're using some cheese, which, you know, cheese is high in sodium relative to other stuff, the amount that we're using, that we have room for it.
Yeah, and because we're spreading it out in 4 servings, 6 servings, it's actually lowering down. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me get this, a little bit of garlic, right?
Okay. Yeah. Fresh garlic.
And this, of course, the basil came out of your house.
Well, that's right. Yeah. Basil.
And actually, yours looks a lot better than mine, but mine is getting there. Okay.
Yeah. And you know, basil, if you're growing this at home, herbs are so easy to grow at home. I mean, you can buy them at the grocery store, they're pricey. But basil is so easy to grow. Put this in the shade right now, it is so hot. Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop this up, Tim, and we're going to add it to the ricotta. I got the garlic. I got some fresh baby spinach. You can use regular spinach, just clean them really good because they always come in sandy and stuff like that. So wash your spinach really, really good.
You know, as you're cutting that, I can just smell the basil. It's so
fragrant.
This
is going to be so good. And then we're going to make a nice basic tomato sauce with a little bit of garlic, a little bit of mushrooms.
Okay.
So, and we'll top that off, okay? So the process is real easy for this.
Yeah.
And I love basil. You could always add, I don't know, so much basil, but it's always so good. Basil and garlic is just such a good combination.
They are. You know, one's sweet, one's, I don't know what you'd say about garlic.
Maybe,
yeah, it's a strong flavor. Well,
we're going to add a little bit of onions, of course.
Okay, yeah.
And give some
fresh
flavor.
Onion, yeah.
Now, this requires a piping bag. It doesn't really have to. You can spoon it in, or you can play with it. But a piping bag, again, you can use a Ziploc bag, put it all in a corner, cut the corner, and we're just going to pipe it in, fix it on a tray, and we're going to bake it off. How's that?
And you've seen us do that on shows in the past, where you take a Ziploc bag and you have to be careful when you're cutting that corner. It's always bigger than what you think, so cut it smaller than what you think if you're going to use a Ziploc bag.
I had a little bit extra chopped basil there.
Okay.
And then I got, like I said, I got a little bit of nice fresh baby spinach.
Okay.
Spinach is so good. Again, another green vegetable. Another green leafy lettuce type.
Actually, spinach, it's one of those dark greens, and when you're talking about antioxidant content in vegetables or fruits, the more color, the more intense color, the more antioxidant content there is.
Now, I do have a nice little pastry bag here, Tim.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna cut a little bit of it. We could always come back and cut the whole bigger.
Okay, did you want a little bit of Romano in there?
Yeah, let's throw a little bit because I want to remember the sodium. Let's put a little bit here because we're gonna also finish the sauce with a little Romano. Okay.
I remember how I did this.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. This is a dry cheese, and it's just packed with flavor.
Beautiful. If you finish mixing that,
yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and get our noodles.
Okay.
I got my pen right here.
Yep. Yep. And notice how this meal doesn't have any meat in it. Now, you know, here in Texas, we tend to think we have to have meat at every meal, and nothing wrong with having, you know, a portion of meat at lunch and dinner, but every now and then, it's something different. It's something, it's a nice variety to have something without meat.
Yeah.
And this has got plenty of flavor.
But if you put all the, yeah, exactly. I was going to say, if you put the flavors and make it fun, and you won't miss it.
You don't miss the meat. That's right.
No, you don't. So if you don't mind, Tim, go ahead.
Okay, you want that to go in there?
It. Yeah.
All right. You know, you got an amateur here.
You're doing all right. You're doing a great job.
All
One
right.
thing I want to bring up to you.
I'm not a Cesear Cardini, you know.
Okay, so you can put it more, a little bit more.
All right.
One thing I want to, when using a pastry bag, a lot of times we make the mistake is we always got to fold it like this and cover your hand because I'm gonna show you in a minute.
Okay. This works better if you have two people. This would be a good place to have your kids helping you in the kitchen.
Yeah, this is safe.
You know, they would, and
they would enjoy it. And I guarantee you that they enjoy eating it too.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So anyway, that's perfect.
Now, I got just one more spoon in there. You want one more?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Hate to waste.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trust me, we won't.
All right.
So the reason for well, like I said, when you get ready to fill it, you fold it like this. You don't make a mess. At the same time, when you bring it back up, you have
something to hold on to.
And then just twist, and twist, and twist.
Okay.
And then you saw how. Look at these. These are so beautiful.
Beautiful.
What you do is you start piping it. Mix. You might want to do both sides.
Yeah.
It's almost like a cannoli, yeah.
It is. It is.
Like a nice Italian pastry, and then come back on this side and do the same thing, and just.
That's not as hard as I thought it would be.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
And then we'll just lay it right here. How's that, Tim?
Okay.
And then we'll do. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do one more, and then you're gonna do it because I know you're gonna probably do it this weekend, aren't you?
Well, in fact, I was just thinking. You know, I've got some company coming, and I may just do this.
Yeah, and another thing
I thought this was going to be harder than this. When you were telling me about stuffed manicotti, I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be way too hard.
So here you go, Tim. I'm going to let you do this one.
All right, now you always make this look so easy. All right, let's see how easy it really is.
And
okay.
One thing I was going to tell you is, go ahead and put your finger there, but go ahead and squeeze it hard so it'll clog it up here in the middle. And then when you come back on the other side, do the same thing.
Okay.
So that was
beautiful.
Easy, wasn't it?
Yeah, look how that came out.
So, you know, it's something that's, like you said, with the kids. Have them involved, get them involved. And
they would love this.
They would enjoy it, especially piping. Oh, my God.
Yeah,
so we're going to do the sauce, okay, Tim?
Okay, all right.
So I just got some fresh tomatoes.
Okay.
You know, something nice. Instead of opening a can, you know, it's got a lot of sodium.
Okay.
So we're going to go just roughly dice these tomatoes, okay, Tim? If you don't mind putting these
Move this right over
there,
here?
Yeah.
I'll just set it right here.
So we're just, like I said, we're just going to dice this. No, nothing goes to waste.
Hand's hot. Don't touch it.
Yes. I feel it right here, Tim. I meant to warn you about that one.
Okay.
So nothing goes to waste on the tomato, okay?
Yep.
And this is a trick. You have the heart right here.
Yeah.
So you just kind of go over like this. All right. This was pretty easy. And like I told you earlier, that what we're going to do is put a little bit of olive oil because we're going to lose a lot of the natural juices from the tomato, and that's what makes the tomato sauce, right?
Okay.
We're going to add a little bit of onions.
All right. So this is the part where you're releasing the flavor of the onions. You know, talking about go ahead.
No, you go ahead because I'm letting it sweat a little bit.
Well, talking about do I just go buy a bottle of Cesear salad dressing or do I make it? You saw how fast this went together. You know, a tablespoon, actually 2 tablespoons serving of Cesear dressing pre-made can be up to 400 plus milligrams of sodium in 2 tablespoons. This dressing that we made today has, and of course you can see this in our recipe, but this dressing in a little over a tablespoon has about 300 milligrams of sodium.
That's good.
Yeah. So
you're going to actually
you know what?
enjoy a little more.
I take that back. That's the whole recipe. The dressing itself
Divide that
was
by.
That's right. The dressing itself was about 200 milligrams of sodium.
That's awesome.
For a lot less.
You can actually enjoy a little more Caesar by making it healthier.
And
one thing I want to bring up: not everybody has Grey Poupon or Dijon mustard. You can use the Frenchie's mustard.
Just French's mustard.
French's mustard is just it's good, you know.
Yep.
So whatever mustard you have, you can use it. But the mayonnaise is the healthy one that you want to choose.
Yep.
Which is good. I got some black pepper, fresh black pepper here, Tim.
Yep.
Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and let this sweat a little bit, and I have some of my basil.
Yep.
So we're gonna add our basil, which is gonna start smelling really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then I also brought a little bit of fresh thyme.
There you go. And actually, I have thyme growing too right now, but
I'm trying to grow it on mine. What I did was I took the stems. It worked with the basil. Let me tell you, it works wonderful. I got beautiful, but I just replanted some of these stems, and I'm hoping that it works.
Okay.
All right. My mom said it does, but my mom's got the green thumb in the family, you know?
Yeah.
My mom can grow anything. She's got 2 avocado trees, by the way.
Really?
Beautiful avocado. So,
well, you know, I've always been good at growing vegetables. I've never been very good with house plants, but I do fairly well with vegetables. So when I started the herb garden, I wasn't too sure how this was going to go, but you know, all you do is plant them and water.
And and that's it. And some of them don't need as much water. I mean, just sometimes lately everything needs water because it's so dry. But
this thyme and rosemary, they're real dry. Oregano, they're dry plants anyway.
I am going to add a little pinch, okay?
All right.
Not much. I want the natural flavor of the garlic I'm saving for last, okay?
Yeah.
But I want this to sweat a little bit, the basil, the thyme, and get all the flavors. And then we're going to add also a little bit of mushrooms.
Okay.
And then this will help it. And the reason why I didn't throw the mushrooms in, I want to kind of lightly saute because we're going to put the sauce and then we're going to bake it for a few minutes, okay?
Okay.
So I want it to finish
overcook
cooking.
them.
Yeah, I want it to all the flavors to combine together.
Okay.
Sometimes it's good, go ahead and saute it all. You know, you could actually, you and I could plastic wrap this, foil, and then throw in the oven while we're making our sauce. But I want the flavors to all blend together.
Okay.
Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and do this.
Okay.
Cook it for just a few seconds.
Okay.
Now we're gonna add our garlic, and you know, basil and garlic, you can't never say.
I just have to look and smell. This just smells so good.
Now we're gonna add our garlic.
Okay.
You know me, I like to save the garlic for last.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's beautiful, isn't it? Now we're gonna throw this in the oven, Tim.
Okay.
And we're gonna cook it for about 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
And while we do that, guess what? I have a special guest with us today.
No.
Yes. Kyoko's joining us again.
Okay.
Yeah, so she is gonna prepare the poached pears.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. Okay, Kyoko Jenkins, it's a delight to have you back on the show.
Yes, it's been a while, but thank you for having me back.
Well, we're glad to have you, and you're going to do for us a blushing raspberry pear.
Yes.
Okay, well, tell us about this. Tell us what you're going to do.
What we're gonna need, I'm gonna tell you what all you need to be ready. Okay. Pick up a nice pear, preferably something kind of already tender and ripe. Okay, so it's kind of easy to soak the color in. Also, it's really give you a good texture. Okay. 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 Now we have a fresh raspberry. Yep. We have a cinnamon and sugar.
And we've started some cranberry juice boiling for you. So
we have about 3 cups of cranberry juice boiling. Okay. And we're gonna have about 1/4 cup of sugar. Add into that. Okay. Now, if you're really careful about having sugar, you can less as you want it. If you know, and we have about, I would say about 1/2 teaspoon of
cinnamon.
Cinnamon. Okay. Okay. Then you go ahead and mix all this fresh raspberry. Okay. Okay. We're gonna boil it and bring it to boil. Okay. And meantime, what we're gonna do, we're gonna prep the pears. It's pretty simple. We just like that. You can use a knife if you like, and you can use pretty simple just peeler. Like
Okay.
you would do the potatoes and everything else.
Okay.
Okay, so you have a nice little pear
Okay.
here. And I will cut into the half.
Okay.
Now, if you like to do a whole, that will be fine. And if you want to do the whole pear, you want to try to pick the smaller size one, so
Okay.
it doesn't take a long time to, cook the outside. And then what I normally like to do, you can use the, pointing part of it, trying to get the core out of.
Now this is the part you have to be careful and don't get your palm.
Yeah, don't go
Right.
through.
Yeah.
Be cautious.
Yeah, it just kind of once you stick that in there, you do not have to move it any deeper. You just kind of go circle around.
Okay, then that's a good tip right there.
Right, so
Okay.
all you have to do is, turn the pears around. That's all you have to do.
Okay.
So once you have these pears, you can kind of drop into that. What it does is to give you a nice red color to the pear. We can simmer about 15-20 minutes, depends on the size of pear or texture of a pear. If your pear is still firm, then you might take a little longer to cook it.
Okay.
So just measure yourself, it's tender.
So you're going to simmer this until it's fork tender. Would that be a good
That would be a
guideline?
good suggestion. And to get the even color, you want to make sure keep turning.
Okay.
Okay, then you come back, leave it alone for a couple minutes and come back and, give a good turn so all the white
It
color
colors evenly.
Yes.
Okay. That way it's blushing all over.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Blushing all over. I like that.
Right.
An embarrassed pear.
An embarrassed pear.
Embarrassed pear.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
That's
so
what we should have called it. An embarrassed pear. Huh?
Yeah.
now it's another technique that I normally use is if you got a parchment paper,
Yeah.
parchment
paper. Yeah.
paper, and you cut circle just about the same size you use in a pot.
Okay.
And then you put right on top of it while it's simmering, and it doesn't move too much of a fruit. It just keeps simmering, and then whatever boiling is keep going on top of it. So
Okay,
it
now,
really helps.
or another thing, if I had a lid that would fit within this pan,
Right, that'd be
a
fine.
pan lid would also work.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
All right, Tim. That was a wonderful dessert, huh?
All right,
Look at this. Nice manicotti, nice and hot.
beautiful, beautiful.
Let me put this right there.
Yeah,
And if you don't mind, Tim, a little Parmesan and a little mozzarella.
little mozzarella. Okay.
Yeah, we could always, you could either add the mozzarella earlier and finish it in the oven, but as hot as it is, it will melt very soon. So let's top that off.
Just a little right
Just
there.
a little bit, okay?
Okay.
And then a little bit of the Parmesan, because we're going to add a little bit of the Romano.
Can I use the Romano?
Yeah,
Yep.
we're going to add a little bit, so we add a little bit.
That way you're being consistent with your flavors.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
that's beautiful. Now, that wasn't too hard. That was such a fun dish to make.
Yes. it's
And I
wonderful.
guarantee you that everyone will enjoy.
So, to wrap up, we've learned a number of things today. For example, we've learned that we can use a high-sodium food like anchovy paste if we use it in very small amounts, and we pair that dish with a low-sodium dish like the pears and the manicotti. We also learned that to look for products that contain plant sterols because they'll lower our cholesterol. And we learned how to make a homemade Caesar dressing.
A traditional Caesar dressing and a healthier version of it.
Yes, and the flavor is in the freshness.
Beautiful.
So we want to thank you for joining us. Memorial Cooking Innovations is all about how we can serve you, our viewers. Ms. Kyoko, thank you for joining us
Kyoko.
today. And we also want to thank our sponsor, Brookshire, for helping us. And also, we'd like to thank the City of Lufkin for filming and producing our show. And so, if you have other comments that you want to send to us, we'll send us an email. And thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next time on Memorial
Cooking
Cooking
Innovations.
Innovations.